Hello, we are Group 3. Today we are going to present a topic is food poisoning event. First, let me introduce what is food poisoning. Next page. Food poisoning is usually struggles when food contains microorganisms, bacteria, microbes, biotoxins, chemicals, or water. The most common symptoms of food poisoning are upset stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever. Next page. Here is the case of food poisoning, which about 4 customers who developed of food poisoning as PC's restaurant in Taiwan has tiramisu. PC's, a famous spaghetti restaurant in Taiwan, on 3rd of June 2022, 4 diners were suspected of caused by eating tiramisu, and 4 diners has lunch at the above address on 26th of May, and 10 to 18 hours and 30 minutes later, they developed abdominal pain, diarrhea, dizziness, weakness, nausea, vomiting, and 4 tiramisus respectively. All are in stable condition and do not require hospitalizations. Next page.
Let's talk about the type of foodborne disease. Salmonella species is usually contaminated food that undercooked or raw eggs and egg products, such as tiramisu. The Salmonella bacteria is a gram-negative butyl hydrogen sulfur as the labile and fugitive intracellular microorganism that commonly causes gastroenteritis worldwide and causes cold infection between humans and animals. Many animals are known carriers for the Salmonella bacterium. Salmonella bacteria also cause significant focal infection in patients with immunocompromises conditions. Overall, there are over 2,500 serotypes of Salmonella worldwide. Next page. In addition, Campylobacter species are usually contaminated food that undercooked chicken and pork, pasteurized milk. Campylobacter species represent one of the most common causes of bacterial diarrheal illness worldwide. Besides that, Campylobacter infection is associated with the consumption of raw milk, undercooked poultry, and contaminated water. And immunocompromised and elderly patients are the highest risk of the morbidity and prolonged illness. Next page. Moreover, Escherichia coli bacteria normally live in intestine of people and animals, and the types of Escherichia coli that can cause diarrhea can be transmitted through contaminated water or food or through contact with animals or persons. Furthermore, Escherichia coli consists of diverse groups of bacteria. Pathogenic Escherichia coli strains are categorized into perfect types. Such perfect types are associated with diarrhea and collectively are referred to as diarrheogenic Escherichia coli. This page.
The next bacterium is Staphylococcus aureus. Staph is a normal bacterium in humans and animals. About 25% of people and animals have staph bacteria on their skin and nose. It doesn't usually make healthy people sick. The staph has the ability to make toxins that can cause food poisoning. People with staph bacteria can contaminate food if not washed hands properly before touching it. Staph can multiply in the food and produce toxins that make people sick. Although cooking kills staph, the toxins are not destroyed and can still cause disease. The common contaminated food includes highly processed foods that do not require subsequent cooking and reheating. Next page. Let's talk about Clostridium perfringens. Clostridium perfringens is widely distributed in the environment and food, and forms part of the normal gut flora in human and animals. Its spores can survive cooking and germinate to form vegetative cells during cooking and on refrigerated storage. The usually contaminated foods are undercooked meat and its products such as stews and mince pies. Next page. So the last bacterium is the Bacillus cereus, which can live well under anaerobic conditions. Bacillus cereus is widely distributed in the environment. It is common soil saprophytes that spread easily to a variety of foods, especially those of plant origin, but is also frequently isolated from meat, eggs, and dairy products. The food usually contaminated with Bacillus cereus includes leftover rice, fried rice, meat products, and vegetables. Next page.
And here is the table of feature of bacterial food poisoning. We have a theming item, organism, time from introduction to system and symptom onset, duration, sign and symptom, and food source. And here we have three common bacteria here. The first one is Salmonella species, and the second one is Campylobacter and species, and also have the Escherichia coli. For the time of from introduction to system onset, the onset time is different, but usually range from hours to days, and the duration is also different from a minimum of 3 days to a maximum of 10 days. And for the sign and symptom, both of them have a similar symptoms such as abdominal cramp, diarrhea, or vomiting. And for the food sources, they have a different type of food sources, but have the same common point that most of the bacteria come from some contaminated or unpasteurized food poisons. And here is the three other common bacteria here. There are Staphylococcus aureus and the Clostridium perfringens, and also the Bacillus cereus. And for the time and symptom onset is ranging from hours to 1 day. And for the duration is around 24 to 48 hours. Symptoms have the same, such as abdominal cramp, diarrhea, like that. And for the food sources, both have a different types, but have some similar point that most of them are coming from the unregulated or some pre-cooked food or temperature-absorbed foods. Here is the technique of the symptom, sign and symptom. As you could see, if there is a tag under the name of that symptom, that means that bacteria have that symptom. As you could see in this table, that most of the bacteria have the abdominal cramp, diarrhea, and vomiting symptoms.
Thank you. Now I'm going to talk about the sign and symptom found in the nails. First of all, abdominal pain may lead to minor problems such as dyspepsia, which is related to digestive problem. Secondly, diarrhea can be found. Thirdly, dizziness can be classified by the subtypes such as vertical. Fourthly, nausea is a component of a complex protective mechanism, warning us not to eat. Lastly, vomiting can be found in the nails as well. Next slide, please. According to the nails, we can deduce that Salmonella species is caused this type of food poisoning. The duration of Salmonella species is around 6 to 48 hours. The symptoms of Salmonella species are abdomen cramp, diarrhea, fever, vomiting, and the food source caused Salmonella species are undercooked or raw eggs or any egg products. According to the news, the tiramisu of PC restaurant was made up of raw egg. Therefore, we can deduce that Salmonella species caused the food poisoning. Next slide, please.
Okay, thank you. So let's talk about the possible cause of its contamination in the food poisoning events. So first, the raw eggs are added to the tiramisu. As we know, the raw eggs may have the salmonella. And the second is maybe the restaurant improper handling or poor hygiene of the eggs. And the third is the eggs can be contaminated with the salmonella during the package. So as we know, they may choose the good eggs, not good egg, raw eggs for this. Thanks. Next page. Thank you.
Besides, the restaurant did not thoroughly clean the egg handle utensils, such as when separating the yolk from the white. It is better to use a clean egg separator instead of the eggshell, which may contain traces of salmonella on the surface. Since the eggs used are not pasteurized eggs, the pasteurization, the process of applying low heat to kill passages and activate spoiled enzymes. And for instance, the practice of breaking a number of eggs into containers and using the combined eggs to make multiple servings of egg dish or for use in multiple recipes. Some restaurants to save the time and control protein size. However, pooling eggs can allow one or more infant eggs to contaminate the hot pool of eggs, so they may get food poisoning. Next.
So for the recommendation, for the manufacturing, when preparing dishes, especially desserts, use pasteurized egg products. Unshelled eggs should be kept refrigerated. Maintain a temperature of 4 degrees Celsius or lower when storing and transporting dessert. And make sure that desserts for scale are displayed in a proper manner and are not more than 4 degrees Celsius in temperature. And for consumer, food should be consumed as soon as possible. Next page, please. So in this case, to conclude, consumer poisoning is caused by eating tiramisu. The major reason why they are poisoned is the tiramisu may be undercooked or cooked by raw eggs and egg products. Therefore, consumers have some signs and symptoms of poisoning: abdominal cramps, diarrhea, fever, vomiting. And for the manufacturing and consumer, there is another reason of why consumer may have poisoned because of temperature. As the temperature level is higher, the temperature may cause by the food tiramisu have the bacteria may go, and the food temperature should maintain of 4 degrees Celsius or lower when storing and transporting desserts. Food should be consumed as soon as possible, as the more time to wait in room temperature, the more bacteria may go. Next page. Here is a reference and our work distribution. Thank you.